driving on trash, basically. And it smells like French fries, is what everybody says. Which is, not a bad thing. I like that. And the whole deal with the veggie cars, my sister Maureen started it, I forget how long ago, 7, 8 years ago, she got this idea. Oh no, my sister Natalie, I'm sorry, started it 6 years ago or so. But told me about it. I'd done a little bit of work on cars. I didn't have any cars at that point. But she asked me to put in this the system. So we did. It took me about a month and a half, I think. Partly because I was just scared. She just bought this Jetta TDI.
On eBay.
On eBay, okay. I had no idea what I was doing, and I knew as soon as I started cutting into fuel lines and antifreeze lines and things like that, then she wasn't going to be able to drive her car until I got it finished. So it took me a long time to get going. Once I got going, it happened pretty quickly. And then a year or two later, I think, is when Maureen decided that she wanted a veggie system. I'd just fallen off a ladder. I injured my arm. I couldn't really do anything else, and she said, well, Fred, you want to put in this grease system? And I said, sure, I've got nothing else I can do. So I did the second one in maybe 2 or 3 days, one-handed, which I'm really proud about. I'm not sure why, but it seems, it sounds impressive, yeah. I don't know what else to talk about here. You want to talk about your grease car?
How about where you get your oil?
Yeah, where you get your oil?
Yeah, Bruges in Broad Ripple has been a supplier for many years. They've been great. In fact, I started off. They let me into the kitchen when they were like in the middle of the afternoon when they weren't busy, and I bring in my scooper and my funnel and my jugs, and I'd go and scoop out of their tub, which was great. And then after a while, I got to know the guys, and one fellow said, well, you know what, it would help us a lot if, I could just empty our fryers into these jugs and leave them out for you. So for a good year, I was just show up every Wednesday, pick up the jugs, bring them home, filter them at my house, and then use the fuel. It was a beautiful thing. And I think the only way, there are a lot of political things surrounding this whole idea. The only way it really works is if you use used oil. We all know about farmland being turned into to growing crops that could feed people, but instead are being used to become fuel. And I'm not sure I agree with that whole idea. So grease cars are not. I mean, if we all ran them, it's just not a feasible thing. And my next car will actually not exist. So.
A funny story I heard about this in the intervening years. I heard something on the radio, a story about a couple, I think in Illinois, who were early on in this whole process, and they converted their vehicles to run on used oil. And they thought it was really cool, and they told their friends, and they got press in their local paper. And then the upshot of the story that I heard was the excise police found out about it, and they weren't paying taxes on their fuel, and they got busted for driving on trash. I thought that was horrible. If anybody's curious about grease cars, we'll hang around, we'll talk. That's pretty much all our story. Thank you very much.